up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and Dope Living TV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man, Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy, Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad. What's up? It's your boy Greg Gray, Dope Living TV Live. I'm sorry. I was running late. I don't even got no clothes on. See. Anyway, welcome to the show. The views that expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates.
Don't tell us you ain't got no clothes on, please. We can't unthink that.
That was just disgusting, wasn't it?
Think that.
Shut it up. I got clothes on. I'm just saying. I was.
Yeah.
I wasn't a joke. Everybody doing?
We were okay until you said that.
Good. I'm good. I'm just saying. How's everybody doing today?
What's going on?
Great.
Good.
Man.
This topic here.
What about it?
Yeah, this is a topic that interesting, right? Interesting, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the views are expressed on the Dope Living TV Live and not necessarily views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates.
Here.
These are our opinions here.
Yeah, you better talk it. So, and this has been going on for quite some time. It ain't just
really.
These kids, these young adults are really getting out of hand. They're taking over these streets. Okay, they're doing their spin outs on the cars and they're hitting people. Actually, okay, they're breaking into stores.
Oh yes,
Turning
into looting.
What are they doing, Greg?
They breaking into stores like they own the place. Did I say something wrong?
That went over my head. What's
and you see me? I'm like,
that's a personal joke. Look, that's a personal joke.
Oh, I get it. Oh, bad butts. We got two of them right
can't say that out loud. Just can't say that out loud.
Okay, I'm the slow one in the group. I am the slow one in the group. I'll admit it.
No, I'll say it out loud because long time ago back.
No.
Gina, look at that. You see that?
Gina, I mean, and Marcy, I'll read it. They used to do it. No, they didn't used to do it. I did it. Maurice wasn't involved in that.
I would have never thought that.
I did it.
That's where it started at, don't you know?
Don't you?
Yeah, I think this is a different kind, though.
Yeah, this is crazy. These kids.
This is more in public. They weren't scared to do it. They're not scared to do it.
Yeah, and the bad part is people are getting hurt. Their kids are getting killed. It's just a lot of negativity with this.
Prices are going up because of it.
Yeah, because somebody has to cover the cost of all of this damage and theft. It's crazy. So I don't know if it's a fad. I don't know if it's going to end eventually, but I don't feel like there's anything being done about it.
And that's the problem. There's no consequences.
The thing about it is these kids ain't scared of jail. They don't care. They
don't care. But
back in the day, we used to be scared if a police was walking down the street.
But you know what? Back in the day, if there were more than 5 or 6 kids in the group, they were sending you home.
Yep.
We couldn't. What did they call it? Mob something?
No, they call it loitering.
Yeah, but they called it mob something. Even back then, they called it mob something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
They considered it back then if it was more than 5 or 6 kids in a group. They knew it was going to be some problems and some trouble. Kids getting together, young, idle minds, and it take one person to say, "Hey, let's go jack this car. Hey, let's go rob this store." And out of that, those 5 or 6, 3 or 4 of them are going to say, "Okay."
Cheetah, that's the part that get me the most. We didn't think about jacking nobody's cars, at least in our groups anyway. That was. I mean, I don't understand that carjacking. I really don't.
And I think, and we're gonna go back to something we said before: social media. You're there. A lot of these kids are looking for attention in all the wrong places. Back then, we also had something called Scared Straight, where they would take you to the jail.
That was very effective.
Yes, but the thing is, now jail
they do it.
It's like an honor. Oh, I done been out there. What? All my family's there, all my friends, all my neighborhood is there. So it's like, hey, what's up? What's up?
Reunion.
Yeah, it's pretty much
just to let everybody know, we are talking about street takeovers, teen takeovers, mall takeovers, where a huge mob of youngsters meet up at a certain place. And with this, there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of people are they doing it down in the Loop, you guys, in the Loop.
Michigan Avenue.
Yes. The last one, I think someone, a guy got beat up, pulled out of his car. They took his car. Another lady, they were twerking on her hood. They bust her window. They are damaging things in an enormous amount of money. They are damaging things. This is not like, we just going to all get together and just have this group. Shoot, we used to do that. We were having basement parties.
Right.
We had a place to go do it.
Red light.
I mean, we had a place to go do it at. We go do it down at Screaming Wheels or some place where they playing music where we can get on the dance floor and get out. Now they don't care.
But you know what?
And then again, you got these places where they try to open up some spots for them and they shut them down. We had.
Oh, is that the problem, Mo, that they don't have anywhere to go?
That's what I was just.
Well, it's not that. It's not just that, because if they just have no place to go, then they'd respect the places that's being opened up for them to go. They had with these little teeny clubs that they had down here, and there wasn't no drinking, no alcohol, or none of that stuff. So they let the wrong folk in and shut them down.
What did they do at these clubs? Was this like a regular nightclub?
It was basically a dance place to dance and socialize.
So what are we doing versus just dancing and a social club? Are we teaching them like humanities, community, dealing with communities, doing positive things in the community? Or is it just something of that?
Let's walk back about 4 shows where we was talking about this. They don't teach it no more.
Yeah, it's not a.
And see, that's a big problem.
Studies how to get along with each other.
What they're doing now is called
what's etiquette.
What they're doing now is called a learned behavior. All right,
see.
It's nothing that's been. It's not a taught behavior. It's a learned behavior. They see their friends doing it. They see, as Mo said, social media. As you said, social media is they're perpetuating that this is cool. That it's getting a lot of views. So let's go out and do it, and let's make our numbers go up.
Videos, music videos, movies. That's why a lot of times when we're having different filmmakers on, I bring that subject up a little bit. Whereas there's so much negativity within our community. Now that you actually have a platform, what are you doing to change that narrative? Are we, to me, it seems like we're getting more and more of these, a lot of people think it's funny. We get talking about the crime, the music. And like we said, the social media, you see 3 generations of females twerking And they're like, oh, look at little mama right there. Oh, look how she got her booty. Oh, she twerking. Oh, she winding that up. And they think that's cute. And you're teaching, like, what'd you just say, Greg? Learned behavior. You're teaching them this stuff. You're not teaching them, hey, let's go out in the community. Let's clean up the community. Let's go and talk to our elderly. What can we do to help other, the disabled or elderly and, things of that nature? What can we do to come and unite in a positive way to do things for our cities and towns?
That's where we see the change in the culture, period. All right. From the way that we used to do things, because we can't sit here and say that we're innocent on all of this, because we did things too. Okay. We just didn't do it to the magnitude that these people are doing it now.
Yeah,
okay?
we weren't damaging things. We weren't hurting people. And this is an article because I did a little research on this, and I wanted to just see what initiated this whole meetup thing. And it's not even called meetup. They called it trends. That's what it's called. And this is what a few people were interviewed to find out who's behind the so-called teen takeovers. So here's one that's saying the meetups actually have been happening for years. They're especially popular among Black teens. The gatherings are known as trends. And they often appear on flyers signaling a large meetup at a public place like Grant Park or North Avenue Beach. In some instances, these gatherings have gotten out of control. And like I said, there was an 18-year-old woman that was run over with a car. A couple was assaulted in a loop. And last year, a 16-year-old was shot and killed during one of the gatherings at Millennium Park. And, these are high-end places down here, high-end hotels and stores where they're doing these meetups. So here's someone who name is Curious City, and they only wanted to use their artist name. Actually, his name is Lil Troop. It's a 20-year-old who works for Champs. Champs is a youth mentoring program, and he says he understands why kids organize and attend these gatherings. He hosted a house party for his 17th birthday. Between 50 and 100 young people showed up.
Shit.
He said there weren't any fights during the event. He told people to leave the home. He described his teen self as angry with little supportive structure. With a lack of guidance, he often went to trends or meetups, hoping to find positive connections. Other teens were experiencing similar struggles, so they are trying to find some positive stuff, but I think it turns negative. In hindsight, he says he recognizes that he was lucky nothing happened during the event, but he could say he did a lot of dumb things that he thought was fun. Then we got a 19-year-old named Quan. He said his friends have gone to trend meetups at movie theaters, the beach, downtown. He said people just want to hang out. We're just trying to have fun. That's all we want to do.
But
I think the intention is, it's just when you get a whole bunch of people in a group like that, there's going to be some bad apples. There's going to be some bad actors.
We used to get a whole bunch.
Once those bad actors kick it off, the whole thing turns south. Even if you're there just to have fun or just to meet up and hang out and just, try to socialize, when those bad actors get started, you're involved too. You're part of it.
You have nowhere to go. You're in the middle of it.
I think
you
that
could
was
be
a
an
big
innocent
thing.
person, like this other teen ended up being killed.
Yeah.
But what stopped all our craziness back in the day? Because there was stuff going on. Once the females didn't show up no more, brothers started acting like they had some sense. But you got the females right there in the mix with the dudes,
out there twerking and getting on top
and
of cars.
they want to be seen with that stuff.
A lot of times they're worse.
Yeah.
But this is what's interesting to me in this article. The guy from Champ said at first he thought trend flyers were made by young adults in their early 20s. He later realized kids as young as 14 were making them, and they spread it like wildfire.
Yeah.
These were young kids putting this
And
stuff
where are the
together.
parents?
Where are the parents? Where are the parents?
Mm-hmm.
And they said that the reason that, you know, they meet up at these trends is because there's not a lot to do in their neighborhood. So just what I thought, you know, that's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing for them to do. And so let's all 100 of us, 150 of us get together and just have fun.
But it's them two that's in that 150 to turn it up, you know, to the point to where it gets stupid, you know.
And then it so on, and then so on, and so on, and so
Yep.
on. Everybody wants to show
A push leads to a shove, shove leads to a fight, fight leads to bullets. And it happens quick.
And when they're coming from different areas of the city, coming from different schools. So my question, do you think parenting classes as young as junior high, because these kids are having kids, do you think that will help? Where like
in
people
in the schools?
In the junior, starting with junior high.
Well, if you remember, we had health and safety, which
I don't
had a
remember
section in
parenting
health
classes.
and safety that yes, we did. They talked about sex
Oh, yeah.
and everything else.
Yeah,
Having
sex,
babies.
yeah. But when I say parenting classes, how to parent correctly. Yes, we had sex education, Mr. Foley. He was a mess, Mr. Foley. But
yeah, he was.
but you know, actually parenting classes, having someone that actually had a child at a very young age to come in, maybe even a teenager that's had a child to come in to talk about the struggles, number one, of having of being a teen parent, trying to go to school, or even someone that's older that has already gone through it, and what you know what they had to go through, and then teaching how, you know, about there's no discipline. I worked at a high school.
If you remember, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, they had a show like that where they had young teenage girls come to a home and actually care for somebody's child. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember that show. It was back when they had Scared Straight. I don't remember what it was called, but they actually had to care for a baby. And many of them were like, I don't want no kids.
But you know what? You also have to teach discipline. Pardon me?
No, I was going to say, let's keep it 100. Back in the day, Maurice, and only Maurice can comment to this. When we saw the pregnant girls in junior high and high school, we couldn't wait for them to have them babies because we knew they was going to do it. We knew they were doing it. So,
you know what? Maurice said, "Look, he's looking like no comment."
Yeah, no comment. We knew it was hot in the room. That's all we knew.
Oh yeah.
Oh, y'all wanted a baby too?
No, we didn't want
No.
We knew that
it was hot in the room.
It was ready. It was ready.
But you know what? I want to go back to, do we hold the parents accountable? Like, why are these 14, 15, 16-year-olds out here
running amok
9 to 10, 11 o'clock at night? They had to put curfews in place. I'm not sure if that helped. But do we hold these parents accountable, or is it just that the parents are working?
Can we?
These are latchkey kids.
Let me tell you something. You said something about curfews a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
They enforce curfews here. My youngest son ended up getting arrested, and what they do is, say for instance, like my son, he's 18, his rider's 17. They're within 5 months of each other. Okay. The rider decided he was going to hang out the window downtown Nashville and start screaming, "Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up?" You know, trying to revel up, you know. And so he got pulled over. And he got pulled over. His friend had weed on him.
Ooh.
So they arrested both of them, you know. And then my son, up until he was probably about 24, 25, had to fight with this delinquency of a minor charge. So, I mean, that works if it works right, but it backfires on us because guess who's going to get focused?
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
My thing is, we talk about holding the parents accountable and this and that, but let's keep it 100, man. These parents can do. You can come from the best families, and these parents can do everything in the world for their child. Once they get out of that safety net, they're gonna do what they want to do.
Yep.
All right.
That's
Period.
true.
So
and yeah,
when you hold the parents accountable, we can't hold the parents accountable. They just did something with this guy that brought guns to school and killed somebody.
Yep.
And
both parents were charged.
Parents were charged, okay. But in that instance, okay, when you're putting the guns in their hand and everything, that's one thing. But when that kid goes out, he's surrounded by his peers, and he sees his peers doing something. In order for him to stay in that crowd in good graces, you know how it is in schools. If you're not with the in crowd, you're not in. So they go and they do these things outside of the perfect structure that they got at home, and then the parents get blamed.
Yeah, and you can't watch them 100% of the time.
No, not at all.
Out here, in the schools here, they have a thing that I'm finding out for truancy. When the kids aren't showing up for school, they send notices home, and then after a while, the parent has to go to court, and the parent, from what I'm being told, can be jailed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's here too. That's here in the Gary schools too. I think that's everywhere. They go to court and they're fined first. The fine, the last I've heard, that was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It was $375.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pay that fine, if you don't pay the fine, then you get arrested.
Again, these remedies affect us more than they affect anybody else.
Yeah.
If you happen to be a single mother with 4 kids that has to pay book rental or have some assistance on book rental, and a couple of them fines hit you, you're done. Yeah, you're done. You wash your hands. You say, "I'm not going. These Negroes got to get out of my house."
And you're working because you have 4 kids and you don't have help. And you have to go, and so you, us. And they're latchkey kids, and they're looking for, family, or, and they end up with the wrong crowd.
That's if
but
they're
then
latchkey.
You also have the parents that want to get the kids out the house because they want to drink or they want to hang out with their friends or they want to go to the bar, and they will drop their kids off at the mall or drop them off at the beach unattended so that they can go have a good time.
Yeah, or they're having a good time at home with their kids, drinking and getting high with the kids. Huh?
It's supposed to be a safe space. The mall is this, because there's thousands of people around, hundreds of people around. So it's supposed to be about that number. I mean, not anymore, but it's supposed to be a safe space. So there's really nothing, and I'm just saying this, and it could be wrong. These are my views. There's nothing a parent can do. You could be the greatest parent in the world, and your kid will go south if he's influenced enough. All right. I raised my son, and I'm telling you, by the grace of God, my son didn't do none of that mess, never went to jail, didn't have no babies.
You're here.
College, graduated, and it's not, I don't think I've done anything different from other good parents. It's just that when these kids get around, now what I did do, and this may have made a difference in his after high school, was that instead of letting them go, because all of the kids they got, Ball State and Indiana University was handing out acceptance letters. You know what I mean? Just handing them out. All right, but
work for mine. You better take that back.
I told I said these kids, I'm talking about my kids' generation, but I told my son that he's not going to a school where all of his friends are going, because you've done your time with these guys. Okay, now you need to experience a different culture, a different lifestyle, different people. All right, instead of all of these Negroes here. All right, so he went somewhere else, and he discovered that these people here could not do a thing for him. And sure enough, those people that did stay there, there's a couple of them that went to jail. There's a couple of them that are dead. All right. Some of them got babies and this and that. They're getting, some of them doing great. They got babies, but they're getting married. But the thing is, you got to take them out of this atmosphere, the atmosphere that they grew up in, and went to school with some of these guys and saw these people doing this and doing that, okay, take them out after high school, get them out of that atmosphere, let them see the world, let them see something else other than what they're used to, and they'll understand and see that, okay, I don't have to do this. I don't need to be this person. I can be my
I
own.
agree with you, bro. 150%.
Again, that's 110%.
You have to give them a change. Give them something. If this is all they see, that's what is normal to them. Give them a change of environment. That's what I'm doing right now. My granddaughter is going into the 9th grade. We're going through the process right now of getting her into Andrean High School. And she told me, she said, I'm nervous about that. I say, don't be nervous. She has a great personality. She's a very strong young lady. She thinks for herself. She doesn't follow the crowd. So I'm not too worried about her. I'm like, you're going to get new friends and you're going to like your new friends. So now she's excited about it. But you're right. That's the one thing I told her mom when she was in elementary school. I said, by the time she gets to high school, we're going to change her school environment.
But just think about what both of y'all just said, Gina and Greg. Y'all had influence on the direction of where they was going. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, and they had an example. They had examples.
And something you made a comment about, Gina. I talked to my 18-year-old grandson before I came on and asked him some questions. And we were kind of like here with a lot of things. You said she thinks for herself. That's something that he brought up about a lot of the young people. He's a senior in high school. He said they don't think for themselves. They allow other people, trying to, like Greg said earlier, trying to be on the in crowd. Start your own crowd. You can start, okay, they don't want you over here. Start your own. Find like-minded people. So you guys are talking about, like, you know, high school and higher. What about when they're younger? Do you think different organizations, starting with, and I'm going to say in elementary school, because I've been seeing, you know, different things on the internet about these principals and these coaches and these male teachers, where they are teaching the kids, starting with elementary school, how to tie a tie. They're teaching them about budgeting and financing. They're teaching them, you know, just different things, like I said earlier, about community, you know, maybe going to senior citizens' homes and giving back to the community, to those, or even to those that are less fortunate than them. Do you think starting early around elementary school, doing things like this, having the fathers in the schools? We used to have that in Gary. I think it was called DADS or something. And there are other schools and school systems in the country where they have the fathers all day long in the school system, walking the halls. Because right now, you go to a lot of these schools, it's the policemen. They're police in there.
Let me interject there, Marcy, because you don't want them to grow up too fast. Okay, you don't want them to feel that they're grown up too fast. All right, some of what you said, I agree 100% with, but some of it, like when you're in elementary school, let's wear these ties and this and that. Okay, they're going to kick against that. They're going to be angry for doing that, for you putting that on them and this and that.
We don't necessarily.
Well, I don't want them to. This is just me. This is my opinion. I don't feel that they should be forced or taught at an early age how to be an adult, how to dress like an adult, how to act like an adult. I don't think they should be taught that, because they're not there. They have to enjoy their youth. They have to understand what their youth is about. Then as the stages go up, which is why I mentioned at the high school age, because now they're young adults. Now they're almost ready to go out into this world. All right. So, I mean, I agree with some of what you said, but when, you know, with the ties and dressing them up like adults,
I'm not necessarily saying dressing them up as an adult. Teaching them how to tie a tie is not necessarily having to dress up like an adult. Teaching them about money and budgeting and things of that nature. Yes, getting them acclimated to that. Huh?
They're not going to retain it at a young age like that.
Yeah, they can. That's when they're sponges. When they're that young, that's why they tell people to teach a child, start with foreign languages when they're young, because they're sponges. They're soaking it up at that age.
I get that.
There are ways you can do it for younger kids where you can teach them.
If you relegate them to forced learning like that, okay, you got to learn this and that stuff like that. How can they enjoy their youth and play with the kids and enjoy their youth?
You can enjoy your youth There's one teacher with her elementary school class. She gives them play money. How do they earn play money? Turning in their work, being nice to their fellow classmates, things of that nature. Then at the end of the week, they've earned, it's like a job. They've earned a certain amount of money.
Like a
They
job,
can come
like
in.
an adult.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're learning how. Then they budget their money where they're learning, like they can buy like cookies or they can buy something like that. But you're still teaching them. It's not so much as adult. You're teaching them at a young age. When are you going to start teaching them?
You got your parents.
The streets are teaching them at that age. The streets are teaching them. That's why they're running amok now.
The streets are not teaching them at 4, 5, 6 years old.
I didn't say 4, 5, 6 years old.
You
Elementary
said
school, a little bit older. You going to like preschool and stuff.
6, 7, 8, 9. Teach them.
I disagree.
Teach them.
No, I disagree with you. I disagree. You need to start. Yeah.
That's fine. I'm not going to ever a child of mine to do all of that stuff. I want him to enjoy himself. I want him to be having fun.
You can enjoy. One little girl made the comment.
You're not going to have fun if you learn.
Let me jump in real quick because I'm going to tell you guys both perspectives of what you're saying. Greg, what you're saying is let kids be kids. And I have seen where parents push children so hard that they did not have a childhood. And that affects them as an adult or as they get older because they feel like they miss so much. On the other hand, what Marcy is saying, teach them as they grow up and they'll have those teachings throughout their life. Sometimes they'll veer away from it, but they usually come back to it because they were taught it, know it.
And make it fun. Make it
fun. I know of some people very personal and close to me that have said that their parent pushed them so hard, they got rebellious.
Right.
Because they pushed them so hard to do those things, have these different characteristics and do things this way and do things that way and go to church 3 days a week. And so they became rebellious because of it. But then there's others that took that teaching and they use it as an adult. So I think either way, you have to know your child to know which is best for them. Is this
and balance it
too hard? Is this gonna make you have to know your child in order to say, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to train them. This is how I want to bring them up. You have to make sure you know that it will be in a positive way. When my kids got older, they had a choice. Either you're going to go to college or you're going to get your own apartment. All my children were out the home at 18. One out of the three said, I don't want to go to college. One went to college, one went to the military, one went to a trade school. And all three of them were happy with the choices they made because I didn't force what I thought they should do down their throat. I didn't say, you got to go to college, to the one who said, I don't want to go to college. He took up a trade. He went to barber school and he can cut hair and make money to this day. And he enjoys it. He may have not made it through college.
But you have to have balance. You still can teach your kids these things and let them have fun as well. Like going to the grocery store, teaching them how to, when you're weighing produce and things like this. Okay, so this is how much you have. You want to buy blah, 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 blah. How much will you have left? Do you have enough to buy this, that, and the other? Make it fun. Make it fun.
Yeah, and that's just an overall teaching throughout their life, throughout their growing. I was getting a different perspective when you said, have them do this, have them do that. When you're driving down the street and you see billboards, the first person find the word red and on the billboard? Those are different games. I think we all play with our children.
That's what I said.
When it comes to forcing a child to do things a certain way or learn the things that I learned because this was my trade, that's totally different. Now you're stuffing something, you're cramming something down their throat that they really don't want to do. I don't know how many friends that I have that have businesses, they children don't want nothing to do with the business that they have. But what did we do? What happened to us back in the day? Our parents told us you're gonna run this business. They made us run those businesses. They made us take those businesses, even though we didn't want to do it.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about stuff something down their throats and being so stringent. You're making it fun and adjust it to their age. That's, adjust it to their age, not something that, okay, this is what you're gonna have to do. And, like you're in the military and things. I know so well about the church stuff, Gina. I had a grandmother we were always at church. And I know, I said, once I'm old enough to say no, I will never step foot in the church. And several of my family members have said that, and we all up in there now. We maybe left for a little bit, but we all came back.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's because we were forced.
We all got to think there's some structure in both what Greg and you were saying. There's structure to it. In other words, they had something. It wasn't nothing. You know what I mean? It was something that they can go, you know what? Mama said X, Y, Z, Daddy said X, Y, Z. Oh, dang, I did go to church. So that puts a conscience to my thoughts. That puts some, hey, the difference between right and wrong in your thoughts because you went to church, and some of the stuff that the preacher may have said, while you was in church stuck with you for your life. So there was something that you could look back on and compare it to what you're doing right now. And right now, that ain't the case with these kids.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't the case.
Yeah. Like Gina said, it's like parents don't want to parent. And so the kids are out here raising themselves and social media is raising them.
Yeah. So do you think there is a solution? Do you think things should be done to curb this street mall, whatever, teen takeover? What should be done? Like I said earlier, I don't feel like there's a lot of things in place to curb this. It's just happening, and it just happens. And even when the police show up, they don't care. They don't care about the police being there.
It's a badge of honor. It's a badge of honor.
Believe it or not, I don't know what city it was, but that boy shot up that school, and now the parents is in jail too.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the parents responsible because guess who bought the damn guns? Yeah. So my whole thing is, if you don't know where your kids is at and they're supposed to be at home, shit, why not you got to pay for that windshield? Why not you got to pay for that scratch on that hood of that car? Why not paying for the damages that your kids cause? Because they're your kids. They're not grown, or if they are grown, then, hey, take their ass to jail like they've been doing.
And, I think if the parents if there are consequences also for some of the parents, I think they will, and you start seeing this and it's consistent throughout the country, I think parents will start looking at things differently versus, oh, well, that's their kids. That ain't mine. And, whatever. But if they start seeing that, I think they might start trying to get a better hold of their kids. Maybe. I don't know. What are the solutions? Greg, what do you think?
I think
we're no longer in the realm of it takes a village to raise a child. We're out of that now. That's gone. It's now every man for himself.
Don't touch my kids.
These kids are not. These kids are not listening to us. They're listening to their friends. They're trying to get clout. They're trying to get their numbers up on YouTube. So they're going to do whatever they can because that's the easy way out. Nobody wants to do this. When somebody mentioned about doing what your parents had said, all right, my parents wanted all of us to be in the electronics. All right. My brothers, two brothers, older brothers were doing electronics. When it came to me, I said, I don't want to do it. I want to do something else. So I went and started welding. Then I said, okay, fine. I'll go ahead and do it. I did electronics. Then I said, let me go back to school again and as an adult on my own and get this business degree. So, I mean, you don't have to do what your parents. You're not living in your parents' shadow, I should say. You have to create your own lane, but you should at least, as a kid, listen. You got to have a conversation. Kenneth Kane says, yeah, I just don't understand it myself. How parents, so many parents, not all, it's like They don't want to have nothing to do with their kids, no discipline, no nothing. And it's because they're afraid. You know, it's gotten to a point. It's gotten to a point where the parents don't have a choice but to let to let these kids fall. You know, we
and
do.
You think they're afraid of the kids?
It's not necessarily afraid. It's that they can't talk to them. They don't know how to get. You know.
Well, I had a conversation with someone earlier too about this subject, and one thing that they said is we can't discipline our children.
The
legal system has stepped in and said if you hit your child, we're going to take you to jail.
I'd have to
go. But they brought up such a great point. It was something I never thought of, but if you think about it, how many times have you? I know you have to. Know of at least one person who said, I raised my voice at my child and they said, I'm going to call 911.
Oh, I wish mine would have said that.
You know, and that has put a problem, that has placed a problem in parenthood, in, you know, discipline your children. But then when they get out there in the streets and they doing all this crazy stuff, then they come back to the parent. But you said, I can't discipline my child.
So it's just a vicious circle.
It's just
the thing about that is we ran into a generation that didn't know how to discipline their children. They thought when they was getting that whooping that was the worst thing in the whole wide world, but in effect they got that whooping for a reason. And a lot of young parents now, I mean, they don't know how to whoop. They do it out of anger instead of doing it out of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And when you whoop somebody on anger, you're gonna have some problems because you're gonna leave some scars and bruises. It's gonna be a little bit more than that little physical pain on the butt, and it gets out of control. So that's the reason why they came up with this crazy law. So a lot of those parents or younger parents didn't know how to discipline their children.
And then you see the parents who get upset if someone else says something to your child. I was in a store the other day, and this one kid was cutting up. I was ready to leave the store because I wanted to lay hands on him. It wasn't going to be holy hands. And another parent looked, and I kind of laughed. I kind of backed up because I just wanted to see the reaction because the mother of that child cutting up was the type that looked like, I will cut you if you say something to me or my child. And it was kind of funny. It kind of tickled me because I looked at it. I said, and I told the other lady who was giving, you know, how back in our day, our parents, my parents, and for me, myself, with my son and my grandkids, we can just kind of like give you this look like, I know doggone well, you know, you ain't acting ignorant up in here, you know, and that look, they straighten up. And that's what this parent was doing. And then looking at the mom, like, and I just started, I said to my brother, I said, you want to whoop that mama too, don't you? She was like, oh yeah.
Let me read this comment.
Marianne gets that on the daily. She always talking about something. Well, I just feel like I want to get out and comb these parents' hair. That's what she said.
Comb the hair. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Let me read this comment from Kenneth Kane, y'all, real quick. He says, this is part of the other one. The parents don't want to have anything to do with their kids, no discipline or nothing, but there's a cost in that with the legal system. I don't care who you are or what you are. I thought it's going to be, I'm not going to have him turn out like a lot of children these days that have no parents walking around with guns at night. Mm-hmm. I used to work with the news, hearing detected, and I've been so many different crime scenes. Yeah. Their uncles, their father. I mean, there has to be discipline. If I'm not going to jail for discipline, my kids' well-being, I'm going to go to jail when I get right back out.
Yeah. I'm still tagging that butt.
Glennis, this is two generations almost who are being raised in single homes, no family unit or structure. Also, this is two generations also that weren't raised in church. There's another form of raising and being disciplined. That's another form. I'm sorry. Also, respect is not taught today. Respect your elders. When's the last time that was heard? Let me play this video that Gina sent, so y'all can check out some really, really, really crazy stuff here. But and that's an example of what these kids are doing. All right, check this out.
So was that a teen in the car or someone trying to get away?
That was a teen in the car.
See, that would have been
the
me.
police were out there. They cared nothing about the police being out there.
It's a street takeover, so they just do what they want to do. They block the street off with the cars as far as parking wherever they want to park at. They get out there, they dance, they jump on cars and this and that. All right, but the minute you don't want to do it, they get out of hand. So they smash.
Once they see there's no consequences for their actions, why they do it again and again. You tase a couple of them little fuckers, that'll stop all that.
So wait. Yeah. No,
no, he didn't.
You want to shake? You want to shake?
He didn't put the S on
get more badge.
He didn't put the S on that. He put the F on there. That's A.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Whatever. I agree with him. You tased him. I say I'll even put them up on. You
start doing that little shake dance.
Dude, it's all
if I was still in my car would be moving. If I'm hitting people, I'm sorry, I'm hitting you. Get.
Kenneth says structure is what our kids need and us. The parents are the ones that have to do it, and if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Or are they going to end up chilling in prison? It's our responsibility as parents and guiding our children. So don't let anyone get in your way and tell you what you can't do, because it is up to us to raise our children and guide them in the right direction. And most of all, go to church and raise them and get them in the right direction. Let Jesus be in their life.
Amen. We don't see kids in church anymore hardly. That is so key, Kenneth. Thanks.
But check this out, Gina. Why? Because the parents are afraid to tell the kids they got to go to church. I was like, I used to have kids in my house during the weekends, and I told the parents, any child in my house on a Sunday morning had to go to church with me.
I'd have been sleeping out Saturday night.
I had the atheists, I had the Jehovah's Witness, I had the Catholics, I had the Kojic, and they were all and they actually enjoyed it. They actually enjoyed it, and they would come and ask questions.
When we had all our little, I call it our little surrogate children at the house, you could start a conversation, a good conversation, and let them shoot off their little opinions, in their mind, and you could find out exactly who is gonna be crazy, just from their opinions. And you tell them and you bring them down bit by bit, not just slam them down, but make them understand that opinion you have and what kind of trouble you asking for. Of that, it may be an opinion where they say, "Hey, we were just hanging out with our buddies and filming it," but we used to say this. Well, if you're hanging out with your buddies and your buddies doing wrong, it's like dogs and fleas. They go together. Guess what the police gonna do? They're gonna pick all y'all. Yep. All gotta go. And so that's the kind of advice we would give, at our house if we had kids there, and they would. We started a conversation like that. Starting those when we lived in Indianapolis, we had so many kids in our house it wasn't even funny. But you start those kind of conversations, and they ask questions.
Yep.
They just need a good answer. Not no. No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't
and
do
don't stuff it down their throat. Don't stuff it down their throats.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing basically, because we got to get out of here. The whole thing basically is communication with your kids. If you can have the communication. Some kids you're just not going to get to. Okay, you're not going to save everyone. But the thing is, for us as parents, as adults, is to try. But the disrespect is there. Understand that the disrespect is always going to be there. So we got to figure out a way to make sure that we can get to them. Final two comments from our audience here. Kenneth Kane, and let's follow Kenneth Kane too. He's a digital creator, so let's make sure we support him as well.
Are you kidding me?
If some of my wording is not coming out correctly, it's because I'm driving on the freeway and listening and glancing over at all here and there, but that may be why some of my
Kane.
because I'm using the voice to text, so I'll apologize for that. No apologies necessary because the meaning was definitely taken, man. We understand exactly.
Be safe.
Glennis says no respect for law enforcement. I remember being a freshman at West Side. Two guys in the cafeteria. Mr. Smith walked in, grabbed each one in the scruff of their necks. He slung them in directions. And he could out. The other hit the boxes in the hall. He said,
"That was my man, QP."
Left. I never thought about fighting. Still remember that QP might be in jail someday. Ken Kane, we thank you, man, for hanging out with us on the show tonight.
Yes,
all right,
I'm looking for his profile now.
Let's go around the room. What you got, Marcy?
Parents. teach your kids. If you can't, you can get through to them. Try to find someone else that might be able to get through to your children. Please. Count down.
Remember, y'all, respect is earned. Just because you breathing don't mean you should be respected, especially with the crap that y'all doing. Please, 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 to you folks out here doing this stuff in the streets, doing the street takeover, you need to take a good long look at your life, because your life is too short to be doing the stuff y'all doing.
Parents, do you know where your child is?
Yeah.
That used to be a thing, didn't it?
Right there in the bedroom.
Yes,
that
it
used
did.
to be a thing. If your kid, it's 10 o'clock, you know your kid.
Yeah, when that 10 o'clock hit, that came on the television. Parents, do you know where your child is?
Hey man, let me tell y'all. We have to understand. We have to understand what our kids are thinking. Okay, we can't put ourselves back there. We can't tell these kids, well, when I was younger, blah 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 blah. Because the first thing they're gonna do is disrespect you and say, okay, well, I was then, this is now. All right,
that was 100 years ago.
We have to understand and the only way that we can get to them and communicate with them is to understand what they're going through right now. So we got to have those conversations. Maurice's grandson comes on here every now and then. And he gives us the perspective from that age group, okay? And we appreciate it. And I learn a lot when he comes on. So the communication, dialogue like that, when we talk to them, we can find out what's going on with them so that we can at least try to exact some type of a change for these kids. I don't know if it's ever going to change with those takeovers. I don't know if that's ever going to change, okay? Unless that gets to a legal level now. That gets to a legal level. So the thing is, we just have to, as adults and as we still live and breathe, we got to adapt. We have to adapt. They're not going to adapt.
And really quick to answer Kenneth's question, he's asking how does he follow the podcast. There's a notification in there, Kenneth. It'll pop up as a reminder right before the show starts. So just hit that notification, follow Dope Living Entertainment, and you'll be able to see all the shows in there. They're all housed there. But hit that notification and you'll get a notification when we're live. And
we're also on YouTube as well, and LinkedIn as well. And I like what he has on his page, the Kenneth Kane page. Right off the bat, it says, "We only live once. Always respect yourself." Right? And he has a little quote. Okay, so appreciate that, Kenneth. I did follow you. You can always get in contact with us. There's Gina, there's Marcella, Moby, Greg Gray. You can always contact us if you want to do some things. Let's do it. All right. But anyway, it's a great conversation, man. We don't have the answer. All right. But we can always talk about it. All right. And the more we talk about things like this, the more open it is, the more visible it is. And maybe someone or a group of someones can get together and maybe we can at least make a dent in some of this foolishness. All right. This is Dope Living TV Live, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. I always don't have it ready, but I got it this time. Right? I'm not going to press in stream and stop it automatically. I got
Get
this.
it together, bro. Get it together.
It's been a long day, couple of weeks, man. Y'all don't understand, boy. Who somebody commented? Wait a minute. Amen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, it's Dope Living TV Live again, y'all. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
All right.